Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we have the concept of holes lecture. Before proceeding, we have to know something very important about the holes, which is the concept of holes and the effective mass. In last lecture, we have discussed the effective mass importance, and there are two types of effective mass effective mass of electron and effective mass of proton as well. So today's topic, as we know that holes and electrons at absolute zero, valence band is completely filled and the conduction band is completely empty. So valence band, a lot of electrons are here, and conduction band is free because they have a lot of states are available in this conduction band to be occupied by the electrons that can be jumped from valence band to the conduction band. So, whenever we increase the temperature from 0 Kelvin, absolute zero, some of electrons from the valence band are excited to the conduction band. The electron in the conduction band are free to move in many available states in the conduction band, and the electrons movement to the conduction band creates an empty space in the valence band from where it jumps. An empty space in the valence band is referred to a hole, and holes are charge carriers and can give rise to a current. This is very important in terms of semiconductors. Now, um, in the next phase, here are the valence band, and this is known as the conduction band. These white spaces are the spaces left by the electrons which are jumped from the valence band to conduction band, and here is the energy band gap, forbidden energy gap there. Now we discuss the example of germanium at crystal. As we know, germanium has a 4 electron in its outermost shell. When two electrons of the germanium are brought closer together, they form a covalent bond between these atoms. And some of the semiconductors and compound semiconductors, we have the ionic bonds as well. But here in this case of germanium, we have the covalent bonding. If some additional energy is received, one of the electron contributing to the covalent bond breaks. When the additional energy received by the electron, it breaks the covalent bond and it is free to move in a crystal lattice anywhere. While coming out of the bond, a set of hole is created at its place, which are usually represented by an open circle. In the last slide, we have discussed and we have seen the white space there. Uh, these are the schematics of the germanium atom. Here, 4 electrons. These are known as the covalent bonding and the electron movement in it. If some of the electron gain the energy and move freely in this crystal, so it will jump from the valence band to the conduction band. So here is the concept of about the drift current density. Previously we have discussed, and drift current density due to the electron in the valence band is represented by J, and the net value is 0. But the density of the filled state is the sum of empty and the filled state as well. So expression added up, and we get Q times V of I. And for all these energies, completely filled bands and its energy to, for the total is 0, so it becomes when vi is summation is equal to this expression of energy momentum energy space diagram, E versus K diagram usually we can say. So the shape of this band is like the parabola. Here on the y-axis we have energy, and on the x-axis we have the k for momentum space. We have k wave number. At the top of these curve, we can see if the electron will jump, they will move upward and they will create a hole. Whenever more electrons can jump, you can see that electron will move from in the upward direction, and the hole's direction would be the in downward direction. So there are two types of movement of the charge carriers. One is upward, that is electron, and one is the downward, that is holes. So imaginary positive charge moving in the valence band, and the energy of the hole increases in the downward direction. The previous slide we have seen, and the electrons energy, they are jumping from the valence band to conduction band. They are in the upward direction and increasing in the up direction. So the total current flow in a semiconductor is the sum of electron current and the hole current as well. In this schematics we can understand more easily the electron's energy upward direction and the hole's energy in the downward direction. Here's the concept of the effective mass we have previously discussed in the last lecture. The effective mass of electron in a band with a given EK relationship is defined as m steric, that is h cut square upon second derivative of energy versus k. This expression d square e upon dk square is the second derivative, and it will give us the value of its maxima or a minima uh, at respect to the mathematical expression. We go with this expression for the parabola, and we can see electron will move upward and holes are moving from the downward, and the expression of the parabola is e minus ev equals to minus c2, the function of k square, c square actually, and we and this c is positive due to this expression, and it is general expression just like the expression for the circle, that is x square plus y square is equals to the a square, that is the radius, and energy of the electrons in term of momentum p square by 2m, and then p is represented by h cut square k square upon 2m, and we have replaced m by m steric. The introduction of M steric will simplify the calculations. Effective mass is denoted by Mn, and the proton's effective mass is denoted by mass of proton, that is Mp. The effective mass is inversely proportional to the curvature of the band. Very important. The electron near the top of the valence band have negative effective mass. In general, M steric is different in each direction, and appropriate averages are needed for the various calculation purposes. For example, density of states, conductivity versus mass, etc. In the last, if we again consider an electron near the top of an allowed energy band and use Newton's force equation for applied electric field, we have F is equals to ma, that is minus E times capital E. Minus is the charge of electron and capital is the electric field, electrostatic field. Mass is the negative quantity, and we can write with the negative sign. So the final expression is small e capital E times our m, sorry. So small e is the charge of electron, capital E is the charge of the electrostatic field, Coulombic field, and the mass of the electron. So these two slides, last two slides, were the actually your last lectures. We have calculated the previously effective mass in the last two lectures, and these two last slides express these as a reminder of the previous lecture. So if you have any question, you can ask me, or if you need any help by solving these during the solving of these question, you may ask for the tutorial. Thank you.